Oh, well, a lot can change in a weekend, eh? That's me working on my Canadian, trying to ingratiate myself with the culture, because one thing's for certain, I'm not one of these donkeys chanting USA when two Canadians on my team end up being the guys who score against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then you chant USA as the Canadians carry your team to victory. Those are some serious donkeys, but those donkeys are quite happy because now that series is tied at 2. I mean, who would have thought that so much can change in just a weekend? When I left you on Friday, the price for the Florida Panthers to win the East was just a distant. They were 4 out of 4, plus 575. Who would ever take the Florida Panthers to win the East when they lost back-to-back games? Who would ever think a team who's down 0-2 in a series can actually go home and win? I mean, come on, a team can't go home and win 2 games. That's never happened before. You got to remember this, TikTokers. You may even be a better Mario Kart racer than me. You might. There's a chance. I mean, I doubt it, but you might be a better kart racer than me. But if it's your first or second time on a circuit, and I've run that Waluigi circuit for years, even if you're a better kart racer than me, I know where to drop the big bananas. I know where to take those shortcuts. I know everything there is to know about Waluigi Stadium. Why? Because I have some of Waluigi's blood inside me. Can't you feel it? Waluigi! I can do them all. Anyway, we have an entirely different series now because Florida has done exactly what I said. They won a close Game 3, and then they won a puck line game in Game 4. And now, when you had the Leafs entering this series with full confidence in Game 1, now they're entering that building with a completely different feeling inside. The one that just got shut out, and now the whole type of series feels like it's trending in a different direction. But unlike you, I'm not going to say, let's start looking forward to the next round because it's a 2-2 series. And Toronto, they've shown good fight. Matthew Nyes embodies what playoffs is all about. Those perimeter skill players who kind of try to stay away from some of those confrontations, even in Toronto, you must be learning, okay, I understand. That's not the way. The Nyes way is the way. You play like that, magically, you're the one rewarded with chances and breakaways and backhands because you get yourself into the dirty areas and you play the type of style that's necessary to be successful against the Florida Panthers. And this Game 5, I know exactly how it's going to go, but this is a Monday and Tuesday video. Yeah, we got 2 games on Monday, 1 on Tuesday. You think I'm making one video for a potential clenched ass cheeks game in Dallas? No, thank you. I'm going to talk about these Monday games and the Tuesday game right here in this video. So sit back and enjoy while we venture in to something that may be very boring when it comes to the early game. So boring, in fact, that there's not been a single first period goal in this Cheek for Cheeks series. I sold you on Cheeks for Cheeks, and I delivered Cheeks for Cheeks.
Dancing cheek to cheek.
Every game has seen 4 or fewer goals. We haven't seen a single first period goal. So if you're one of these West Coast people who enjoys watching hockey, but you get out of work and a game started at 4 p.m. I mean, let's be honest, the Californians, they're kind of skating out at 3 o'clock. No, I lived there, okay? Go try to get your oil changed at 3:45 in the, so no, we're done. All our appointments are done. We got to go watch this hockey game that starts at 4. It's been fine if you actually get out at 5 because you haven't missed much. There hasn't been a single first period goal in this entire series. And, what happened yesterday isn't necessarily what's going to happen tomorrow, but the best predictor of the future is the past and all that stuff.
Dancing cheek to cheek.
I don't care about all that other than I told you this was going to be a clenched cheek series, and that's exactly what it's been. And why should we believe it's going to change? As you get later into these series, as you get to Game 4, 5, 6 of the second round, this isn't even the first round anymore. The conference finals you can start to see. You've been waiting on that line at Six Flags for hours, and every time you turn the bend, you're like, we're going to see that final stretch. Oh, God, no, it's more just zigzags. You can start to see over the horizon. You can start to see. You're not at that final line, but you're at the last zigzag because you're almost at the conference finals. And you start to see series, even ones that were high scoring like that Panthers series, they start to get bogged down. And in this Carolina series, we've had that since day one. There hasn't been a first period goal, so I think a natural way to start this show is the under 1.5 goals in the first period for the Washington Capitals and Carolina Hurricanes. And obviously, since there hasn't been much first period scoring, that's going to leave that door wide open to continue to do what we've been doing earlier in the series, and that is take ways to bring this under 6.5 down. And first thing we're going to do is the classic no goal in the first 5 minutes. Combine that with the under 6.5. That's something I've been doing all series. And if you want to get that to a plus money bet, I'm going to go under half of a goal for Jackson Blake. Why am I picking Jackson Blake? Because he's going to be playing on the fourth line tonight. They did a mid-game line switch, so he's now down on the fourth line, actually. The only thing we got to worry about is that power play goal, but playing in that bumper position, although he scored last game, I think he's least likely to be the one who scores on that top unit playing in that bumper position, and then also now demoted to line 4. I mean, this is a price as if he's not on line 4. This is the price as if he's playing with Svechnikov and Aho still, and he is currently not. And now we know that with the practice reports that just came out. So I'm going to go under half of a goal for Jackson Blake in that same game parlay. And then also, both teams to score in the first period? No! With the under 6.5. How about no? Both teams to score in the first period? No! Under 6.5. And then, how do you like this? The under half of a goal for Alex Ovechkin. This is not the best type of series for Ovechkin. These low-scoring, clenched ass cheeks, not many offensive opportunities. Although he had his best game in Game 3, he doesn't have a single point in this series. And in a potential another clenched ass cheeks game, where remember, Carolina's home games, they get the exact defensive matchups they want. So whenever him and Strome are out there, you're going to get that Jordan Staal line. You're going to get Jacob Slavin out there against them. And obviously, I mean, he can pretty much stop anybody when he's at his best, and you've kind of seen that in this series. No points for Ovechkin so far. Fully fine if you want to take the under half of a point on Alex Ovechkin. It's still in the plus money. Might not always be there if he continues. I don't want to say struggle. You can't really say struggle because the leading goal scorer in this series has 1 goal. And what does that mean? That means there's actually a nice little opportunity to get great values on top goal scorer in the series. Here's the good news. I already gave you the guy who's the front runner. Andrei Svechnikov, I gave you a plus 1,400 before the series started. He's the current favorite. Well, guess what? We have that top line together now of Svechnikov, Aho, Jarvis. They scored last game, so they're being kept together. They're going to get the good matchups they want in this game. I mean, you can take every single player for a point. You can take that whole line for a point. You want to know what I'm taking? I'm taking Seth Jarvis and Sebastian Aho, who are both priced over plus 1,400. Over plus 1,400 for most goals in the series. Remember, these guys play power play, even penalty kill together, and are both out there for empty net situations. They're the type of guys who can get some free goals. For example, in this game, if Aho scores 1 goal and then gets the empty netter, he's now leading the series in goals. So I'm taking the both of them for leading goal scorer in the series. Hey, if you're one of those people who still thinks Washington's the better team between these two and they're going to win the series and score more goals, especially when they go home, find a guy on Washington you like. I wouldn't take Ovechkin, though. Factor in somebody who's out there for empty netters. I mean, I really think I saw Dubois at was it plus 10,000? I may have just made that up. Jack Roslovic is tied right now for the series lead. Now, he's on line 2 now with Hall and Stankoven. And he, as we saw, he scored a power play goal. What is he? You should open top goal scorer for this series. Just pick your favorite 1 or 2. Look at the absurd prices. Any name you click on, Jordan Martinook at plus 10,000 is only 1 behind. So I suggest you have fun with that. Something that I know you guys aren't big fans of. You're not fans of fun. You just want those all caps gargoyle messages. And I'll be addressing you shortly. But first, we have to talk about this next game here between the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights, the Jackal Series. The only team that kind of makes me scared, although Colorado was also in there, scared to click under in any type of way. This is the clenched ass cheek part of the playoffs, yet I'm still scared. I will not click over because as you saw, and as I said, after you get to, game 4 or 5 of this, especially in the second round with the conference fight, think about how much is on the line here. If this game goes to Edmonton, this series is pretty much over. You have Edmonton with 3 chances to eliminate Vegas. One of those chances coming at home, and Vegas needs to run the table, maybe without Mark Stone. And then on the flip side, if it's 2-2, you're Vegas, you have 2 of 3 games at home, despite, I know you lost games 1 or 2, and you feel really good about yourself going on the road. You feel like Dallas does last year when they started 0-2 against Vegas. I mean, Vegas saw this up close and personal. They won games 1 and 2 in Dallas. Then they lost games 3 and 4 at home, ended up losing that series in 7, and now Vegas hopes they are on Dallas's side of that, where they win games 3 and 4 on the road win game 5, maybe lose game 6, and then you get game 7 at home. Hopefully win that. That's probably what they're thinking in their head. They're going to do everything they can. And when you kind of have that, the clenched ass cheeks can come into the picture, but I'm just too scared. I'm too scared, and I know you guys enjoy that because it means you get to keep clicking overs, and there's a couple overs I'll have no problem clicking all playoffs long. And that is those same 2 same-game parlays I keep giving you every single game. Came through by the end of the first period last game. As long as it's even moderately priced, I'm still taking it. That's Evan Bouchard for a point, Connor McDavid for an assist is one, and then Leon Draisaitl for a point, and Evan Bouchard for an assist is the other. Those are just 2 bets with that trio of players playing the way they are. And the crazy thing is, they have 1 power play goal so far in this series. That's it. Just 1 power play goal, and yet that combo is coming through left and right. So much to the point that Connor McDavid over the weekend, leading point scorer in the series, was plus 195. I encouraged everybody to take that. Now it's down to like plus 125. I got news for you. I still encourage everybody to take that. Jack Eichel's a fantastic player. Nobody can keep up with the point pace of Connor McDavid. Even Leon Draisaitl, he tried so hard to be the leading goal scorer, he put one in his own net at the end of the game. But when it comes to most points in this series, Connor McDavid showing a plus. If he's even with the field, like if he's tied for most points in a series, and they're listing him at a plus anything, I'm just, if he didn't prove himself to you last playoffs, he never will with any of those types of bets. So I'm going with those 2 same-game parlays. And then on the other side, we don't know Stone's status. It's up in the air. He couldn't continue to play in that last game. Is he really going to be healthy enough to get out there 2 nights later after not being able to play in the second half of that game? My guess is no. This is a guy with an injury history. So I'm going to try to be proactive here and take William Karlsson for a point. He's playing great to begin with, playing a ton of minutes, plays in all situations, power play, penalty kill. And if Stone doesn't play, he will be on that top power play. We've also seen him mixed with Eichel on the top line in the past. So Karlsson, for a solid priced point, like plus 130, and then depending who he's playing with, you can mix and match. So if Stone plays, you take him for a point and Riley Smith for a point, because that will be a power play 2, line 3 correlated play. If Stone doesn't play, then you do a Shea Theodore assist with a William Karlsson point, because that's that PP1 D-man with the forward correlated play. That's how I play those when one guy is on the top power play. That would be like Josh Morrissey assist, Nikolai Ehlers point, which we saw come through in that game in Winnipeg. So that's how I'm going to play the William Karlsson situation. And then let's go to a place nobody's scared to play, a place where the Gargoyles have come out. I mean, they'll come out for anything at this point. They're just looking for crumbs, and they think they somehow found it when I talked about Dallas not having a home ice advantage in the NHL. I'm like, Dallas, I never heard a single person in my life say that, oh my God, they go into Dallas, this game's over. And I had a lot of angry Dallas people, all 9 of you, put in all caps, how do you disrespect, you don't know anything about Dallas if you think that it's not a hard place to play. It's such a hard place to play, in fact, especially during the playoffs, that in the midst of this incredible Dallas Stars run, they've been in 3 conference finals. They're about to be in 4 conference finals in a mere 5 years. They went to a Stanley Cup final. That's a successful franchise. Ton of wins are needed to get to those points. You got to imagine a team that's won that many games, they have to have an astonishing home record, right? All that success in the playoffs, got to be winning at least 66, 70% of those home games. Yeah, that win yesterday, congrats, you're now 1 game over 500 in the last 5 years when you've had this very, very, very good team. Oh, is that not enough? So then why don't we just go further? Let's go back over 10 years. Oh, what do you know? You're now 1 game over 500 in the history of the NHL. In the last 10 years of player polls, Dallas was never even listed amongst the listable most difficult places to play. You have to face it. It's not a difficult place to play the same way you never had your car. The only fans that I've ever heard about are a guy who bangs on the glass, bang on the glass guy, and then that escort type OnlyFans chick who sits behind the back. That's the only thing I've ever heard about Dallas Stars fans. And somewhere there's a Minnesota North Stars fan going, yeah, because we were crazy. Well, I should have put on that Minnesota accent, which probably not too dissimilar from that scam accent that I started this video with. It's over. You're going to try to come at me, but that's it. Like the proof is in the numbers. Did you need to see him again? You need to see it again? Essentially 500 at home. And you want to know what's going to take that record to 500? If you lose this game 4. So I'm going to take that almost in spite of you fans. You guys are going to give your home ice advantage is such a nothing that you're going to give the Winnipeg Jets their first road playoff victory of these entire playoffs. That's what I'm going to pick to happen in this game 4 between the Stars, who I think are the better team and are the deepest team in the West. You guys don't know how to take compliments. The deepest team in the West. I love deep teams with multiple lines who can score because you have to share the wealth. And they have one of the best goalies in the NHL. Is there anything else that I can say? Yeah, sure. You guys don't have a great home ice advantage. It's as simple as that. I state the facts, and you don't like them. I have no Dallas. I picked Dallas to beat the Oilers because of that death blast here. What do you want me to say, Dallas? Great team. Picked you to win the series. I think you'll win the series. You don't have a home ice advantage. That's it. Very simple.
Well, the world's a twisted place.
So anyway, as I've been saying, when you get to these game 4s, game 5s, so much is on the line. You're talking about Winnipeg, the President's Trophy winner, either going home, series tied 2-2, a series that they don't look that great in. They have that one win that Dallas looked checked out in. Other than that, Hellepuck still letting up goals, and they're losing these games. But this is a huge game for them because if they all of a sudden can go back home up 2-2, they only have that one loss on their record in the postseason. It would mean a ton. I think you're going to get a good surge from Winnipeg in this game. And in a game 4 with so much on the line, as you saw in that Toronto, Florida game 4, this one has to be of the clenched ass cheeks variety. If Winnipeg wins, you know the deal. I said they got to keep their opponent to under 2.5 goals. The one game they've done that in, they won that game. So if that's going to be the case, if I'm picking Winnipeg to win, then they're going to have to hold their opponent to under 2.5 goals. If you're holding your opponent to under 2.5 goals, I think the game's going under 6.5. So give me the classics. Let's play the classics. No goal in the first 5, under 6.5 on FanDuel. And then how about those double unders? We nailed double under after double under after double under on Friday. We got the Marchment Robertson double under. We got the Perfetti Nemestikov double under. We got the Sagan Ben double under. The line 2, power play 2 double unders, and I think they're all in play. Although we don't know Marchman's status, but I do know that I do like the under half of a point on Jason Robertson. I don't know if he's been rushed back from this injury, but if you look at his ice time, he's not playing a ton. He's not on the top power play. He's obviously not affiliated with that Hintz-Rantanen line, which has kind of gone off in this series. He's kind of just floating there on the lower lines, doesn't have a point in the entire series. And I'm going to pick that to continue. So give me the under half of a point on Jason Robertson. That is what I have for you here on a Monday/Tuesday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you're subscribed here to my YouTube channel if you want to type in all caps and let me know about your team's building, which you think has a home ice advantage but doesn't. Please do that. The all caps messages are just as appreciated as the, grammatically incorrect messages. They're all welcome and appreciated because they help kick these videos up the algorithm. So if you can do those free things, hopefully that will thrust good sports betting karma upon you. And obviously what would help me the most is if you want to be a minority owner of this show. You can be the lone sponsor. You can be see, your sponsorship is listed every single video right there. Patreon.com/Andy Francess. That's where I'll put any additional sniffs that I learned. Like I learned that Svechnikov thing right before this video, so I presented it to you. I do the same type of thing on the Patreon. When info is learned, I kind of relay that to everybody, whether it's in the chat or I update the post. That's also where you get Josh's MLB picks in the morning every single day, 7 days a week. That's where you can share stuff with the other sniffers. There are chat rooms in there, usually pretty funny vibes, sometimes gargoyle vibes. The only way you'll know for sure is if you head over there. It's patreon.com/Andy Francess. I will see you on Wednesday for the next round of NHL Sniffs. Take it easy.